Not come. Okay. We are live now.
Okay.
Yes, we're live. Okay, so let's just get started. There'll be, as usual, please could you share to the various groups?
Yeah, we're
So
still
we,
going on.
yeah. Okay, so um, I'm trying to find a very delicate way to start this topic for today because it's a very, I think it's a very sensitive topic. But before we dive into our topic, as usual, the panel has to say hello and we have to welcome those who are watching. If you're tuning in, this is the Contrast Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. It's over on Chakara TV, and you can also find the Contrast Podcast on Molly Town. So make sure you're subscribed to both platforms to stay in touch with our contrast journey. So on this platform, we talk about entertainment related topics. Most of the time, it's focused on entertainment related topic. We talk about entertainers, but today we are going to be talking about an entertainer, but it's not going to be an entertainment inclined topic. Yes, it's going to be a very sensitive topic, which I do believe is very important for us to address. Because if we are talking about things that are happening in the entertainment world and what entertainers do, it's only right we address this topic too. So, before we dive into our topic, what's up, Delby?
Okay. The TV is fine. And yesterday I was doing something and I thought we were going live yesterday, so I got messed. Uh, it's hangover, don't worry. So I woke up and felt like I was late for something, and I was just panicking, spazzing out. So yeah, but I'm fine
Mm.
though. Yeah, I'm fine. So how is
Oh,
everybody?
okay, okay. Good to know you're fine. The ambassador, what's happening on your end?
Yep. Hello, hello. It's your boy Ambassador doing his thing. Well, as usual, I'm all about my business, chasing one or two things here and there. As you can see, there's a large shadow behind me, so we're having challenges out this end. But yeah, that's Cameroon for you.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah. That's the reality. Before we even started, there was some serious rain falling over here, and I was afraid that they are going to take light because that's what happens. As rain starts falling, you start fearing light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you fear the electricity will
So
go off.
yeah, so let's dive into our topic for today. This is something that has been online since the 18th of September because I believe that's around the time when female rapper Tilla Tafari opened up about her past traumas, her past abuse, her past trials. She told the story of an uncle who was abusive. She told the story of not just the uncle, she told the story of this the fact that she had buried this for a long period of time. It had led her to certain behaviors and certain trends in her life that led her to subsequent abusive relationships. And she talked about the father of her child being abusive and she had to even run away and other things. So today I titled the topic, Did Cameroonians have the right reaction to Tilla Tafari, um, to her opening up? Because I felt like there are a lot of diverse reactions online and well, I have my opinions about the reactions, but I wanted to talk about that and also talk about the right way to react to people coming out like this and being very vulnerable in this way. So, I don't know who wants to start to give their opinion. I think we have all heard about the whole Tila Tafari situation. We have all heard about her opening up. So, what do we think about the whole situation?
Who wants to take the
Okay,
floor? Okay, Ambassador.
yeah, maybe I go first.
No,
Okay.
Ambassador,
Um,
you can start. Yeah.
yeah. So for me, it was a very, how can I call it, emotional topic because I always have that frustration of certain things in Cameroon, which I feel like we can do better. And truth be told, there are certain things which we are not aware of, but when you face the reality, you are like, this can be happening around me. I mean, this is like the third, should I call them A-list or B-list artist who is coming up with such a story. Daphne, Askia, now Tila. and I'm saying, okay, this is because these people are celebrities, then we hear these stories. And it has taken this long for them to talk about it. What about all of these other girls around you who cannot really talk? They don't really have a voice. What happens? And then on the other hand, you are wondering, like, imagine the kind of, I'll call it, for lack of a better word, shabby or mediocre reaction they get, given that are celebrities and some of them have financial means and everything on their side. Still, they get some very out there. I just said shabby response. So imagine a girl who is not a celebrity. What happens to our own case? So I've been following this closely. First, the post, I really took time to read the comments under it. And yeah, majority are not the most encouraging. No, anyway, maybe majority are encouraging, but as usual, the things that will strike us the most are the negative ones. But also it's because on the negative ones, we have lots of replies. So I go and read those ones, and that's the impression I get. But once someone just comes and says, sorry, my sister, support, I'm behind you. Yes, notice that much. But I remember there was one, I will not call his name, but I think the guy, the person, Tilla's uncle was his godfather. And I think he lived beside Tilla, the family when they were growing up. So he was like, why did Tilla do that? He even called the names of, and I was like, the things we do in Cameroon, first, I don't feel like you should come and start calling the name, his children. They actually call the name of the children. That was with this one, and this one feel. How would they feel? And I was like, first, you don't do that. And then yesterday, I don't know if any of you watched, Tilla went live yesterday for almost an hour. That was the one which really it really broke me, because watching it, you know, the all rah-rah Tilla, she was not that Tilla. She would try to act it, but about twice or thrice, you could see that she was like fighting not to cry. Towards the end, she actually cried a little bit, but she was like, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to cry. I've cried over this a lot and things. And I was like, people say it's for buzz, and I'm like, if Tilla was that good of an actress, she should be in Hollywood by now. I don't think this is buzz. The reaction I'm getting from her face and all of these things, I mean, she should be Sharon Stone good, or even better to pull up that kind of thing, yeah. Same reaction even Daphne got. People were always doubting the story, and you're like, and even after that, there is no, I mean, like in other countries, you see like there'll be a press conference, there'll be some legal action to follow this thing. Somebody might have to apologize. There might be some organization taking over the whole thing to support her. But there is just some, how can I even call it? I just feel like a very inadequate response. First, negative comments, then there is no legal reaction. There is no powerful female champion. We have all these our online feminists who, this is the time when you expect them to actually come with a strong voice. But for some reason, some of them don't even talk about it. But for Mimi Mefo, who is also, should I call her the Robin Hood of our media, or the outcast of the media, or the person who does the untold stories, who has spoken about the Tilla thing. I also saw these DW guys, the German guys who cover things on Africa. They put something up too. But the typical Cameroon media has not said anything. I don't know if Tilla is not that big enough. But even if Tilla is not that big enough, at least Daphne is. Or that, yes, Daphne's own case, she was big enough, and she's big enough. Still, I did not hear any major talking about it. I'm also feeling like because the people who do these things are the powers that be, and for some reason they influence every, should I call it, powerful organization or policy in Cameroon to not support these things. I mean, like the police who should do some investigation, the social service if they exist, to do anything, the legal minds, all of this, the powers that be behind these things are the people who support such, or they are their friends and things. So I really felt terrible yesterday watching Tilla's live. I watched it from start to end. And yeah, I went through various emotional, how can I call it? Various emotions. Yeah, but I felt really terrible. I have a couple of ideas on how I think we can address these things. I just feel like Yeah, we have a long way to go. As I said, Cameroonians, we are on a 50-year round the desert trip.
Mm. Yeah. So, Delby, what's your point of view about this?
We've seen this thing happen, like famous people, even in the Western world. We've seen them come and say things, come out with things like this. I follow everything she said from the beginning, right from the post she wrote to the live session and the reply. The I don't know, maybe the guy is related to her, the cousin, maybe the man's kid. His reply and all those things. There was nothing. There was nothing bad that she said. You know, she opened up that's childhood trauma because some people act bad today because of the way they grew up, because of baggage they have accumulated over time. It shapes their reality, it shapes the way they behave. Like Tilla growing up, she took rap. It's very difficult, like almost difficult to see a Cameroonian female take rap as her main course, like main genre of music. When you see people toughen up, try to put up that like defensive mechanism, defensive attitude, you realize that those people are trying to be defensive because they're afraid of something that happened before to happen again. That goes right, for example, somebody like in the Western world, Kevin Gates, that's a rapper that everybody fears. That he can kill you, he can shoot you. But he said when he was small at 8, he was sexually assaulted and he was being bullied. So he never wanted that thing to happen again. So he just decided to be very brutal. Like if you just talk to him some kind of way, he would just for it to get far, he would have to react before you even react. So he became violent. So from the impression like Tila always come online like her domina, like the way she has always treated everybody online has been so defensive, harsh. So now she's explaining the reason for everything, like it has been accumulated baggage, trauma, and all that. Then it also goes to there were so many parts of this thing that I had different feelings about them. Then it goes to the point where she was calling the man's kids, their names, everybody. So that's where I come in now with like resentment and say, why is she doing it? Why is she calling their names? Why? It's like she's doing this thing to embarrass those guys who had nothing to do with it. Maybe they didn't know. They did not know that their dad was doing that thing, but coming to put them on blast and embarrassing them like that is
But
at that point
did she actually call their names?
what?
Did she actually call their names?
No, she said, yeah, she called their names.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah,
I saw comments where it was some neighbor of theirs who came and mentioned their names, and then Tilla was now responding to
no,
him.
she called their names. I said my cousins, and she said their name, their name, their name. I'm sorry,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, she said I'm
Oh,
sorry for all this. So at this point, it made me question why is she coming up with this now? Maybe something happened behind the scenes that is making her like I feel like it's something like revenge, trying to embarrass them based on something those things happen is bad, okay? Terrible. Like the person who did that is supposed to pay for it. But now the way she's presenting it, it questions the motive why she's doing it now, based on the trajectory and the way she's doing it. Because if you wanted to out the man, if the man was in a position of power where he's still doing that thing to other girls, maybe he's doing it and you're trying to make everybody aware that's a piece of shit the man is and that's what he's doing. Yeah, you call him out, you bring mob justice on him. But when you start going back to bringing his family, it's like you want to embarrass his family because maybe we don't know what is happening between them or family things, but the part of the whole thing is the part that she was assaulted. And the next part that I felt a kind of way with was the part that she said she's always attracted to abusive guys.
violent people.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
abusive guys. And she also called a guy's name now and said the guy is an abuser, beating her and her kid, and that, like, sometimes
No, but what was wrong with that one though? I guess for the man's kids, but what about the guy? What's wrong with that one?
he said the guy is beating her and her kid, that the guy is so abusive. Sometimes we question the reason why she's outing the guy now for being abusive when nobody even know the guy. It's not like the guy is famous. It's not like the guy is some kind of a big shot. But she's calling the guy on social media. It's almost like she's trying to use her platform to abuse or embarrass certain people. Because when they got together, nobody knew who Tilla was dating. Nobody knew. who she was in a relationship with. But the only time she mentioned the name of the person is when she wanted to put the person on blast. Those kind of things make you question the motive why she's doing what she's doing now. There are certain things that you can present a good situation, a good case. You can bring a good case, but the way you present it makes it get dismissed because some people feel like the motivation for that exposure is wrong, is way off.
Okay, so my reaction to that is firstly, like when somebody is hurt, when somebody is going through a lot of trauma, and the person has to present something to the public. It's not like they will go through some course to learn how to present things well. This is a girl on the street probably does not even know how to express herself, does not know how to put sentences together, does not know the right things to say and the things not to say, the things to hold back, all those kind of things. She does not know all those things that she wants to express herself. So like I don't want us to focus on the fact that Tilla did not express herself well. Okay, she's a female MC. She probably should know those things, how to express herself, or things not to say, or things that she should hold back, or stuff like that, being politically correct. But I'm just saying, when you are in that point where you are emotional and you have been hurt and you're feeling like I want to be set free by telling my truth, you sometimes you don't think of, okay, I should not say this, or maybe I should say this, or maybe I should not say this. And also, when you start questioning like her motives, or okay, maybe she's saying that because of revenge, or we did not know the guy, or other stuff like that. Now, I know there are a lot of Tilla fans that would listen to her being vocal about being in an abusive relationship and her finding the courage to leave an abusive relationship. There are a lot of her fans who take on the challenge to do the same. I feel like her being vocal about those things will inspire the next girl to do the same. And the reason why it's very tricky when you call out the person who is in the position of the victim, either because they didn't express themselves well, or because they didn't, their motives, questioning their motives and stuff, you kind of scare the next victim to be vocal about the challenges they have gone through. So, for example, Tilla, Daphne, and Askia, these are the three people who have been vocal about their past situations. And all of them, to some degree, have received a lot of backlash. And this backlash tells the girl who does not even have this fame, the girl who looks up to these people, the girl who is seeing what's happening, to feel like, you know what? If he has stayed so long and I've not reported this person, if I do it now, people will say, maybe I want revenge. People will say, maybe this, and they will not. And these people who have committed this crime will go free, and the next person who feels like they can victimize a young girl will feel like they can do the same, because society blames these girls, and society calls these girls out, calls out their intentions, calls out the way they are talking about it, calls out a lot of things about that. So for me, I feel like when somebody is in this position of being vulnerable and being a victim, we need to really give them a lot of rope. We need to really be understanding and compassionate about the way they talk, about a lot of things, because they are in an emotional position and they are being really vulnerable, and it takes a lot of courage. And just to inspire the next girl to do the same, we need to be very compassionate about the way we react to that.
Yeah, but I don't know if I may add something, right? That's one of the points I was saying, that with things like this, we don't have any social structure. I think like there was this girl she was saying that she had been abused by I don't know, it was the Gambian, one of our presidents in one of these neighboring Muslim countries. And I think she was in Canada also. And then she had a whole, there was an organization which was like prepping her. You could see like she had a team. And when she's talking, she would like cry or become emotional. There's somebody around her who's like talking to her and calming her down and things. There might even be some level of therapy you need to go through before you come out to say something. I don't know. I'm just saying random things. I'm not expert in the field. But for me, you don't slap me in my face and then you start saying that I should moderate the way I react. If I see it, next thing and I whip with that full stick, I'm just reacting. Because at that moment, I feel like, in the first place, why did you slap me? Would have avoided all of this situation if you did not slap me. I'm just an example. So for me, focusing on Tilla now is not really appropriate. And I feel like her evil is way, way lesser compared to what has been done to her.
Yeah, of course.
So we should judge all of these people at least for 2 months before we look for one day now to judge Tilla. But you should have said this thing in this way. It's not at the heat of the moment. It's almost sounding like they are judging Tilla even more compared to the people. I feel like it's a terrible thing that she mentioned the children's name, but I don't feel like these children are going to go through 1/100 of the pain which Tilla has gone through. So there is no way which I'll start to compare the two things. I don't feel like it's appropriate to call the children's names, but calling the father's name, yes, I think it's appropriate. Now, regards to the guy she was
dating, the man's name, she has to say it because of the man's position, and he's in a position of power, so he can do that to somebody else.
Yeah, although I think she said he's in prison now or something for
embezzlement.
Embezzlement. Yeah, so
it's just strange how these people play the same cards.
Right.
No, he does not deserve it for this one now. He still deserves some more.
No, I'm talking about a comment that somebody said the man deserves to be where he is right now. Yeah.
So he is right now, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you say Askia has said it, that Daphne has said it, now Tilla is saying it. Like from what I said at the beginning of my point, if you look at Askia's demeanor, she is like aggressive and defensive. The same thing with Tilla.
True.
The same thing with Tilla. That's why I say when you see these girls that act the way they act this way, it comes from baggage that they are suppressing, that they are carrying from one stage of their relationship. It was very difficult to see like Askia break down the same way Tilla is doing it right now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So the thing I'm saying is when Daphne said it, I was even surprised that guys were giving her stress for it. So I was surprised because
people will just go at these girls. Even
Daphne's
if
you can't even know it happened because she's not like aggressive, defensive, harsh, or even defensive like these other girls. You know.
No, but people react differently though.
No, I get my point. I know that's why I'm saying I'm surprised why those guys were. Because Daphne's own the way she did it.
Daphne. Okay, yeah.
The way she did it, she just said the reason she has not been in a relationship for so long is because she was abused and she was trying to come to terms with allowing somebody in her life or to view relationships in a certain way or this kind of thing. So we understand, and I don't see anybody who question or judge the girl for that, or I don't see anybody who. If she wanted to call the person's name, she would have, because she had the knife. She had the mic at that point.
She said she doesn't know the person.
Oh.
I think that's what she said. Yeah, she doesn't know the person.
Although some other person came online saying that she knew the person, she had mentioned the person, it was her somebody,
Yeah, in that case, even if they call the person's name, because that's the aggressor, you are supposed to out that person, you know. Tilla's Askia's own, I never saw that, but I only knew when she was having problems with her man, her husband, you know. So Tilla's own now. The only problem with Tilla's own for now is bringing guys who maybe they never knew what was happening, bringing them into it. It's almost like a famous person doing. It's almost like Beyonce just sent the beehive behind somebody, or Nicki Minaj sent the bar behind somebody, innocent, like mob justice. They troll you, they just start trolling you, just start insulting you, or go to your post, insult you or to your family when you don't know what happened. That's what I'm talking about. You know.
But maybe he actually beat her up, then he deserves it though.
No, I'm talking. No, I'm talking about the man's kids and the man's family.
Okay, the
You,
Yeah, but
man's kids.
you understand?
yeah, true, but we should not conclude
No, that's why I'm
because she
saying.
didn't say they
That's
did
why I'm
not
saying
know.
that we don't know what happened behind the scenes. That maybe those guys
Mm,
added to the
No, but
frustration
if
that
you
will push
listen
her to
to
the
her
brink of.
life, she was saying that she does not think they knew, and she always found it very difficult how she was going to tell them. Though.
So
mm,
outing them now
Yeah.
is, yeah, I don't know. You know,
yeah.
maybe she
Um.
didn't even
So
know the impact of what she was doing. Maybe.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's in an emotional place, and so you need to really give somebody a lot of rope to pull and a lot of freedom to express themselves in whatever uncultured or whatever way you want to use to describe the way they express themselves when they are being emotional. You need to come with a lot of understanding because it's a hard thing to go through, and it's yeah.
No,
The,
I feel like the structures are be. It is all right to say that this is not the best way to present it, but I just feel like she
Mm,
should be giving more support. But because first she's not giving enough support, so the complaints are almost outshining the support she should be getting. I don't
mm.
know if that makes sense. So that's my point. My point is like it's normal to tell her like, yes, she should not present her case this way, but on the other hand, I feel like she should be giving way more support than she's giving.
okay. I
So
think,
if you're telling
yeah.
if you're
1 minute.
telling her she should not present her okay.
Because this thing is about to restart again. That's why I say if it was
Oh.
TV, we'll say we are going for a commercial break. So yeah, so let's restart it.
Okay.
A new stream since
Okay.
this, yeah, a new Zoom.
So do we just, yeah.
I think we leave this one, eh?
That we should leave this one because there are three people, and when are three people, they want to move pay premium $40 something. Forget the meeting. If not, they will constantly record and so. Now, whether I want to move use Microsoft Teams, it's talking. All right.
Mm. Yeah, I can get you, but I can't see you. Yeah, but it was so difficult for me to ask. I clicked on it, nothing was loading. I clicked on it, it loaded and went to a blank screen, and that was it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are back. So sorry guys for
Okay.
the technical problem. That's what happens when
Mm-hmm.
we try to run on my end when we try to run a cost limited production.
Right, right. True.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
gives
So,
them this kind of it gives
if
this kind of
if you are just tuning in, or if you're watching us, we're talking about the whole Tilla Tafari situation, her opening up,
mhm.
and the way people reacted to it. What do you think about the way people reacted, and what's your reaction to what she said? And she even went live yesterday, and towards the end, she had a breakdown. So, like, what's your reaction to everything that's happening? So we have football highlights who said, "Hey there," and Ezeroy comedy saying, "Greetings, family, greetings, Ezeroy." So thank you guys for tuning in, and yeah, feel free to let us know what you think. I know this is it's a very uncomfortable to talk about topic. Honestly, it's uncomfortable to talk about because you don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want to come across as if you're not being sympathetic. You don't want to, I don't know, like you don't just want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah,
But also, we also need to be aware that this is a topic which we need to kind of think
address.
of the victim and bury our discomfort in a way. Like that's times in life where you just need to swallow the discomfort you feel and know that there are things which are more important than your discomfort or how you feel about certain things. There are topics which just need to be spoken about more because the situations are happening more than we think, because there are a lot of girls who are going through this situation but are afraid to be vocal about it because it's uncomfortable. Like even I know of situations that a girl will be harassed, abused, and she would not want to go to the police station. You go to the police station, it's mostly men there, and they start asking you questions like, "What were you wearing? Which road did you take?" And then you start feeling like, "Oh, it's actually my
Yeah,
fault. It's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
my fault."
Hmm.
Yeah, and then you're seeing people. So most, let me say, if a young girl is being harassed, she goes to the police station and she sees mostly men, and you're seeing people who remind you of your abuser because, well, it was a man who abused you, and you're seeing another man being aggressive to you, and then you feel like, okay, so I guess what I should do is keep quiet about the situation. That's the best thing to do. So there are a lot of young girls who choose the silence, and so I think we need to say more, we need to do more. And like the ambassador was saying, that we need to have more champions for those who speak up, because the voices of those who criticize, it's more than the voices of those who are championing these people who come out to
Come
speak
forth.
up
Yeah,
about the situation. Yes.
yeah.
So you get the feeling like people are just criticizing them, so I should keep quiet. Yeah, but
So
I
what
guess
happened to our Cameroonian feminists?
what happened to the Cameroonian feminists? You said
Yes.
Mimi Menfor spoke up now.
But that's not the most official or outstanding feminist we have.
Okay, do you want to call some
Do
names
you
so
want to
that they
cause?
should?
Because I
I
don't
don't
know.
want to, I don't want to call names, but all those CPT ambition feminists which I don't understand with them.
I don't.
And then we have those who we call them a Women Day feminists. Only during Women Day they become feminists and are all platforms speaking. So I feel like it's very easy to turn and then say the men who look like the aggressor and all of that. But I feel like if we have to win this battle or this case, it should be like a teamwork. By the time we start saying certain things, it alienates even the men who want to stand
Who
for it.
want to assist?
And
Yeah.
yes, and sadly enough, the women who look like should be standing for it are not standing. So if you alienate even the few men who are coming to give you moral and political and muscular support, only God knows what will become of the cause.
Mhm. Yeah, but when I say the men who look like the aggressors, it's not from a place of this, you should stay away from these people, or from a place of these people people too should be punished or whatever. Like, it's not from that place. It's from a place of understanding the victim, going to a police station and being aggressed by the police by asking her questions like, what were you wearing? What were you doing on that road? Like, being very, very...
No, I all the way agree with you. I mean, like, in certain countries, they have special units for rape victims where it's maybe women working there. It's more like a secure space.
A safe space.
I've heard of cases where it happens. Yeah, a safe space. I've heard of cases where it happens, the girl actually goes to the police station and they just look at their face and then goes back home. Because, you feel even more embarrassed now. At least what happened was maybe between 2 or 3 people. Now you are sitting in a police station where there are 5 men. Maybe some of them are already drunk after they've collected money from the road.
Okay, it's like the ambassador, like he was complaining that we should do this thing fast. If not, these guys were about to cut him short. I think they just did.
So like whenever I am talking about like situations like this, a story that always comes to my mind is this comedian Trevor Noah. If you read his book, he talks about when his mother was shot, and his mother was shot by his stepfather. And before it got to that stage, she had reported to the police. She had gone to the police several times to tell them that, you see, my husband is beating me up, right? And then she will go to the police. Then the stepfather will come behind her. And then as he enters, it becomes a boys' club. And then the man will be like, you know this, how these women are. You know these women, they get on your nerve. We understand. And they'll be like, you should go and settle your matter at home. Then they will send her home with the person who just abused her. They will not take any report of what happened. So it happened several times like that. And every time she went to the police, they did not make any report. So when he finally shot her and the case went to court, they said they cannot give him the maximum charges which he deserved because she had never reported the case. It was not in the record that she had reported any case because nobody took it down, and he could not get the maximum penalty because they said she had never reported any case. So I'm just saying, like, sometimes it feels like you get into that situation, you feel like it's a kind of boys' club kind of situation, and you don't feel safe enough to be vulnerable in that way. So definitely we need a safe space for victims who have gone through this kind of situations. We definitely need that.
Yeah, but I don't know if you got my point.
No.
My point was more of like, let's not alienate people. So the evil is the rape that has been done. The evil is people being insensitive about it, right? So whoever is not sensitive enough, be a man or a woman, based on all the facts given of the agenda and everything, we should put in place policies or measures to ensure that people are sensitive enough. It should not be based off because you are a man, you have to be more, you already have a, how can I even call it? You share in part of the guilt. You should already have part of the burden on your head. Because now, that's what I was even asking about the feminists. Women, if you look under that comment, that even women will come and then say some of the craziest things about it. Strangely enough. On the other hand, I feel like powerful women there should be women in that police station who will say, okay, no, Marcel, Umako, bien on cause the side ici à côté. But are you saying that there are no female police officers? There is no woman in that place who can also, I mean, like, one, I feel like the women are not doing enough. Two, I feel like the men are, how can I even call it, unsensitized about the issue. So even those who want to help don't know how to help. And then thirdly, I feel like in general, the system has failed all of us, men and women included. I don't feel like men in general, majority are happy about this thing. It's not like it's men versus women. So. I feel like it's good versus evil. So the system has failed all of us because, I mean, like, yesterday I was really feeling terrible when I was looking at Tilla speak and I was like, because virtually it's like, we are talking about this thing for 1 week or 1 month, but this is her whole life she's talking about.
Yeah.
She just started citing incidents where in secondary school, progressive, she tried to kill herself, talking about various incidents and telling her classmates, like, can you remember when this happened? Can you remember when this happened? And I was like, this has been her whole life. Maybe when I was out playing basketball with my friends or I was enjoying, I don't know what, some clubbing thing, this has been on her mind all through her life. There was no time where her brain took a break from this stress. So I was looking at it and I was like, there are certain things which we may speak, we may read it, it may sound outrageous, we may make good speeches about it, but the person who went through it is in another world which you cannot even begin to understand. But when it comes to the solution, so when it comes to looking at Tilla, our approach from that perspective of the society has failed her, she should be given as much support as possible. Where I was standing, I was already like, can somebody, what's wrong with our country? Nobody can create a GoFundMe thing to I don't know if it's to follow up the case or it's to send her to therapy, to do something, I don't know, just something to act like compensate something for something. So nothing can be compensated in this case. And then on the other hand, I also felt like, where are these feminists who should stand up now? I mean, this is where I really want to see feminists to champion this cause. Yeah, too bad they're waiting for Women's Day to talk.
So I don't know. So if a feminist is listening and they have to stand up, what do you expect them to do now?
So I feel like there are people who, okay, Tilla is not the most vocal. She's not the most communication-oriented person. She might not know how to do the legal things that need to be done. There are all these powerful female lawyers who, and I don't want to call names here. There are all these powerful female lawyers who can come and stand in front on her behalf. They are the powerful entrepreneurs who, yeah, look at the uprising when this other lady was arrested. How do they call her? Rebecca Inonchong.
Oh, okay.
No, Rebecca Inonchong. Mimi Mefo's was not even not of the political crisis thing that was attached to her own, it would not have had that level of exposure because she was not a somebody at the time like that. But look at this other lady's own case, the way people rose up, the media had to look at it, and they had to release her. I feel like all of those women who were involved in all of those things, without calling names, can as well support Tilla like that. Yeah, and I feel like even if something cannot be done towards the culprit, at least something should be done to help her out. Because broken systems only produce more broken people who break the system even more, and then that's how the cycle just grows bigger.
Okay.
So to stop the change, you should get some level of support or therapy. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, from what you've said, okay, you're talking about to help her out, like they should come up with something like an association, a GoFundMe, or all these kind of things. I just believe she needs like therapy. She needs to talk with people. She just needs to come with terms that was a phase in her life and move ahead of it. That's the whole use for therapy, because that's the only thing that can help her now. Even if you come up with GoFundMe, give her so much money, that would do it. That won't.
No. I mean, like, even for the therapy comes with cost.
I know therapy comes with cost. Okay, get the GoFundMe to fund the therapy. Yeah, but
yeah, the GoFundMe might be for the therapy. Also, she was like, the guy who beat her up has seized her phone. She did not even have a good phone to go like this today. She's living now with her mom. How does she set herself back? So a GoFundMe can go a long way. Therapy, yes, it sounds like just therapy, but there are so many things that can be done to put her back on her feet.
My own suggestion is these girls or ladies should create like a group, okay? Like, since they are famous, because sometimes we have classes of people. Since they are already in the public space of famous girls like the Askia, Tilla, and Daphne, they can come together and address this situation. Like, they can relate to each other, like they have been through these things that happen. So when the days after that you feel like, okay, it has happened, it's in your past, it keeps haunting you, yeah, but now in your present, as your life is going on, are there things in your life that you feel like make you happy or make you wish second, like some split seconds of your life that actually make it feel like you did not go through all that? Like, They should come, put all those. That's one use of therapy. They should put all those things together and say, those things happen right now. I'm in a place or position in my life where I can take control. It's not easy to completely build that mindset, but when you're surrounded with people who have those things and have been through those things, and you can talk about all those things, those are ways to break that psyche you grew up with, the defensive nature you grew up with. Grow up, like, put aside the trauma, just put it as a phase in your life. It goes with time. You it fades away with time, or you find things to replace the memories that trigger all those kind of things. That's how therapy works. You don't have to pay for therapy. Like you say, you need all these feminists or women. They just need to rally most of these girls or create a forum where most of these girls who have been affected by that, they come together. They come forth, and then they put them in one room, so these girls that they look up to, like the Askias and all the rest, they can now come there and meet them and say they went through it too. So, but they are where they are. Like somebody like Daphne, I went through it, but I'm famous. At least now I make all this, and you're looking at me at this position. So her, she still go through that baggage of those things that happen. But some of those girls feel like maybe that thing that happened is what is holding them behind from achieving their goal or becoming what they are. You know, so she will now be facing people who have gone through all that, those things, and those people will be looking at her and say she went through it and she became somebody, and it becomes some sort of healing and some sort of like an aim, something to look forward to. It start breaking away that psyche and the way you react or things that trigger those kind of emotions. Like, it's just bring together people who have like-minded, who have been through the same situations. That's why
A
after
support
war,
group.
yeah, that's why after war you have this army vet, you have vet conference where they come, they sit together, they talk about, I went to Afghanistan, I went to this place, they talk about their experiences, and they make fun about things that happened during the war, or they make fun about things that they learned there. When they came back, how things changed, the way they left things, and when they came back, they saw things have changed, the way they're adapting. Some were talking about how smartphones are so funny now, they used to punch buttons and all that. You build on the trauma, you ask yourself, okay, that thing happened, it was a phase in my life. Though sometimes when I get some sounds, I feel like I'm still in the battlefield, and it brings back that emotion, that fear, it pulls me back. But sometimes you think about how things have changed from, like, they need to surround themselves. If they have to go with class and caliber, let the famous girls just keep the form a circle, you know, and talk about all these things. And with time, you just see they will become great friends because they balance off each other. There may be some things that Daphne do to forget that memory that Askia is not doing or Tilla is not doing, and there are some things that Askia or Tilla may do during some times in their life that she can give Daphne. So the days that they think Daphne usually use to overcome that memory doesn't work, she can use Askia's own. Now she has two solutions. When it doesn't work, she uses Tilla's own. They have three solutions. So they share all those kind of experiences, solutions, and memories and all those things. That's how
Yeah.
those kind of things work.
Yeah, I think like the way you're describing the support group, and I think that's
A
what
support
even
group, yeah.
addicts use, and yeah, so it's definitely a good idea. Like if they form a support group, and not just for the exclusive A-list scene or art celebrity scene, but it's open to the public, and other young girls could be able to reap off the benefits of what the support group can offer. Yeah, so and I also think because I know there are some lawyers who are very active when it comes. Okay, Jimmy Daly, hi, welcome. So, and I know there are some lawyers who are very active, especially female lawyers who are very active when it concerns like pursuing these kind of cases. I remember I watched a certain documentary. I cannot remember what year, but it was a very long time ago, and I really hope that organization is still functioning. So I don't just know the name of the organization or the right channels to follow, but I want to believe that probably there are people who have contacted Tilla behind the scenes for this kind of legal advice, because I've listened to videos about this. I've read people saying things about this, and most of them are advising her to follow legal channels. So hopefully there's a lawyer out there who has seen this as an opportunity to make
Hello.
use of their,
The guys
yeah.
in the comment section, I think the family is now realizing that we are online. So there's okay, I think football highlights say, hey, yeah, I think he was there when we started. And there's Ezeroi Comedy Greetings family. I think you read that one already. There's Jimmy
Mm.
Daly. Jimmy has been there consistent since we came back. And Jimmy, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. And Jimmy is contributing. I think Tilla continues to play a day. Okay, I
Play
think
at live.
you see, she says he thinks Tilla is playing, continue to play at life instead of being serious, even with the exposure. You know.
Mm.
So it also goes to when I said what the man did was
I
wrong,
don't quite
all these
understand
things.
the
But
point, though.
yeah, I get his point. It also goes
I'll
to
break it down. I
Well,
don't understand.
okay. So he said an adult with a kid who thinks about life would think of how to leverage this issue. To what? Yeah, leverage this issue. What? That's WIT. Whether via legal means or
either.
humanitarian
Yeah.
support.
Mm. Yeah, so definitely she should be pursuing legal channels, because like for the abusive boyfriend, that's definitely something that she should be pursuing legal channels. Her uncle is behind bars. Hopefully he cannot hurt anybody there. But this guy is still out moving and feeling like he can seize her phones and he can her. So she should definitely be doing something in the legal direction.
Mm. The ambassador is it her turn to freeze because you froze the last time. Now it's her turn, and my turn is coming. Mine is just that my camera will go off. Okay.
Yeah, but for me, I was saying like, I feel like whatever support she can get, she should be giving. We should not exclude something. That was I still do. I did not get the point about the exposure very much, because if you watch her live yesterday, she was saying people are trying to contact her, but they cannot get to her now because her phone is still with her boyfriend. All her social media things are on that phone. She just got, I think, a small churunko or something like that. So there are many of these challenges we should be facing, and it's easy to stand from outside and then say, why can you not do this? Why can you not do that? Without knowing the details of what she's going through now. So I just feel like some of these things, I just give general recommendations, but nothing particular, because if you don't know the context in which she's functioning now, you might really miss it here. So I just feel like some of those details, like talking to organizations and the rest, she might have. She even mentioned, like what you're talking about, the Daphne thing. She the beginning of the live, she thanked a couple of people who are supporting her. And I think people like Daphne were mentioned who have sent her messages and things. So all of those things, yeah, they might be happening behind the scene. My own suggestions are more from, how can I call it, a distant observer perspective. And if it has been done, good and fine. If it has not been done, maybe it might help. The call is hers to make. I was just looking on the perspective of what can I do as an individual. But that's why I said there's a lot of sensitization. Some of us want to do things, but you don't know. You don't even know how you can start helping things like this. One, if the person never gets to tell you, what will you do? And then you only see now on Facebook, there was nothing you could do about that situation at the time. Secondly, at times I don't even know how to react in things like this. Because, okay, if it's your friend or it's your father or it's your uncle or if it's your somebody who is a male figure too, I don't know if we know how to react to this. Honestly, I'm like, I don't know if you have thought about it, like if this happens to, if this was your uncle or your father, how will you react? It's not a correct thing, but it's just a very strange thing. Yeah, for lack of a better word, I use the word strange, although it's not that strange if it happens that often. But it's just a very bizarre situation which you don't know. This is your cousin. You have been playing together growing up. But this is also your father. What do you do? So I don't know if even the children might need therapy. I don't know. It's just a very confusing situation. So I feel like a lot of sensitization needs to be done on the part of the general public and men on how to handle these situations. they might be criticizing those police officers and things and criticizing that they don't handle it properly. But have you looked at their curriculum to see that there is any course there to teach them on how to handle such cases? Are you sure that that's how we look at it? So some of these things, how do we grow up? How does our society react to things like this? When we say how does our society react to things like this, is it only the men who have this society?
Yeah.
What are the women in this society also doing to check these things? So I feel like there's a very big, with these things where if we only play the blame game like the men are to blame, or why did you not do that, or why are you saying that, when we are trying to get the solution. It's true when it has happened, we are doing damage control. So some of these things I'm talking about, helping Tilla and the rest for GoFundMe, is damage control. But the bigger scheme of things is how do we avoid things like this from happening? How do we make sure that it is handled properly if it happens? Mm-hmm. Those ones are things we should talk about. For me, I tell people, like, when there is a problem, because that problem has happened and it is likely to happen again and again, I feel like we should spend 30% of the time talking about the problem, 70% of the time talking about the solution. But most of the time it's the reverse that happens.
The problem. That's why I was trying to suggest using examples of war vets, like military guys who came back from the war and all that. That's why I was instead suggesting talking about solutions to the problem, And Jimmy also said something. Jimmy said it is discussing what happened to her, but she has still given these guys a way to cop out based on the way she handled it. Like the way she's addressing it is giving those guys room, even if you take them to court. Like he says the way she's addressing it is maybe giving those guys a way out of the whole backlash or addressing or that situation. So
it's true. I mean, we earlier said it, like, it might not be the best way to handle it, but nobody has been trained how to handle it. I tell people, like, there are many situations which you say, why did you do this way? But when it happens to you, you realize that it's easier said than done when it comes to some of these steps and processes on how to handle all these etiquettes on how to handle this thing. In the heat of the moment when it happens, I feel like it's the people who are not affected who should try as much as possible to accompany or handle the situation better. But the person who is in the heat of the moment, it might be too much to ask of them to handle it too well.
Okay. I think that's our take on this Tilla's problem. Like, I believe every one of us has given a different point of view, and maybe we all agree that she needs help. Like, she needs a support group. She needs solutions, not instead people addressing the way she presented it. Though the way she presented it gave room for people to point out all those things, But we should focus on the reason why she's coming out saying all these things now. What happened and how should we solve it, or how should we help her? And what was the aim? The aim maybe is to put out there that there's something happening like this, and she doesn't want anybody else to be a victim, or another girl to be a victim, and all that stuff. So I think we'll run. That's all I can say about the topic. That's a run of the topic. We also wanted to talk about record labels in Cameroon, but due to the technical problems we have been facing and the Tilla topic, I think we've exhausted the whole hour of the episode of today to address that problem and try to come up with solutions for that problem. So
I really want to talk about that topic too, but I was borderline, I don't know if it's to say shy or avoiding that topic.
I think that one, because that's a whole topic on its own.
Personal, and it's too personal to me that I feel like, I don't know.
Too personal to you?
I might not be. I mean, like, I have had a failed level in Cameroon. I still have a level in Cameroon. So I don't know if I'll be very objective. But anyway, let's just see how it goes.
That's why I like all this. Okay, so next time, that's a whole topic for a new episode. So you give your own point of view, your own insight, and I'll give my own point of view, my own insight.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank everybody who tuned in today. Jimmy, thank you. Eze Roy, thank you. Football highlights, thank you, and thank you, Jimmy, for your input and everything you said today. You know, we appreciate it. That's why we always come live to get your input to see or hear what you guys think about the topics that we talk about, your own point of view, because your contributions count. Okay, so if you're, I think on Thursday, that's tomorrow, right? We'll be live on
Yeah.
Molly Town. We'll be live on Molly Town. So if you are not subscribed yet to this channel, because I know most guys watching us right now are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to Chakra TV. And please share this episode because we are talking about things that affect the economy of Cameroon, affect the culture of Cameroon, affect our own people, you know. So when we talk about these things, it's good to share those things. So if we have valid points and solutions in all these topics or in all these episodes that we have, if we have solutions in them, it's only fair that you share it for those guys to get to those guys, you know. And if they have any criticisms or any contradictions or any contrast to anything we said here, because that's the whole idea of the show, Contrast Podcast, they can say it, because the only way we can get those contrasts or those different opinions is when you guys share this episode. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say for today. The ambassador, you take us out since this a Chakra TV episode.
Okay, guys. Yeah, I think I've already told them the YouTube modalities, liking and sharing and all of that. Yeah, I just want to thank you guys once again for hanging out there with us and then giving your opinion, either just by listening or starting that conversation out there. Yeah, so for me, basically, that was it. I'll always be here. I said this is some form of therapy for me. This topic was really sensitive when I followed it up. Some of these things from a distance, it looks like it happens to others. You don't want to imagine if it happens to you. And when you put yourself in those shoes, it's really uncomfortable.
It is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rounding up.
We're rounding up.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
we're saying that since there are no feminists to continue the topic, we were about to sign out.
She's the moderator now. She just take us out.
yeah. So you're saying you're not a feminist?
I'm a feminist out of survival, not by choice.
So you're a feminist?
Yes.
Exactly.
But not the kind of feminist who depend on platforms.
What kind of feminist depend on platforms? I'm a feminist.
I had to be a feminist to collect a plate of food.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you have to be a feminist to collect.
No, I'm not a feminist.
Stay alive. Oh,
you're not a feminist?
No.
What's the opposite of a feminist? Somebody is not a feminist. What are you?
Does somebody say
anti-feminist? Like
what's the opposite of a feminist?
Just not a feminist. The opposite of a it doesn't have to
feminist
work.
people.
Pro-man.
People believe in no, feminist people believe in equal rights between men and women. So if you're not a feminist, it means you don't believe in equal rights between men and women.
Hey, we don't have to get into that topic today. We'll get into that topic another day. That will be the day we'll get the true contrast.
Yeah, because like when you ask me like 2 times if you're a feminist,
No, because the ambassador said he's a feminist because you asked him if he was a feminist and he said yes. Mm-hmm. So I had to. It was only fair for me to ask you the same question. Are you a feminist? So when you ask me, so everybody needs to. You started the ball going round. So I just had to.
Okay. So anyway, we are going to talk about that some other time.
Yeah, we have to talk about that topic. We have to address it.
Yeah, I
feminists are very, very aggressive people.
Feminists.
I feel like they like to intimidate the feminists are very aggressive. They like to intimidate the non-feminists.
The reason is...
I mean, look at the way like that was already coming at you.
You saw the way she was already coming at me, right?
For you not. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I feel like they are instead the aggressors.
Yeah, but
okay.
That whole feminist thing is a double standard thing. Don't worry, we'll talk about it another day.
I guess what's happening here is like people are trying to set a trap for me to see if I'll become aggressive or I'll say anything aggressive.
No, you just prove our point. Wow. It's almost like a vegan. The way vegan treat other people is like, do you eat? You eat. The way vegans act. the way feminists act is almost like
Well, they'll be at the end of the day, it's your right now to choose
and
like
you
the
just put the
causes that you want to
stereotype of
stand for,
feminists that
and
they are aggressive. You
the
were already getting into your feminist bag.
oh,
It's
I
almost like
didn't think
you're a
I was.
feminist or you go to hell.
Well, if I was aggressive, I do apologize for being aggressive. My intention was not to be aggressive. But at the end of the day, we all have our causes that we want to fight for. I remember I was watching this podcast where this guy was saying that people were coming at him because of the Pakistan Israeli thing that was happening. Yeah, people were feeling like he was not talking about it. And he was like, when he was talking about Black Lives Matter, that people were not talking about it, and he did not feel like he should attack those people. Like there are a lot of causes in this world that people need to get behind, and you cannot, at the end of the day, you cannot follow all causes. You cannot be behind everything. You probably need to choose your own causes so you can focus on that and be efficient in it. So for me, I'm like, feminism is one of the causes I've decided to choose, and I will not impose it on anybody. You just choose your own courses you want to follow. Yeah.
Maybe I choose entertainment.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah.
one thing. There's
Anyway.
one thing about feminists or feminism. Okay, because they are. It's not like a Black Lives Matter or all these things. You get into situations everywhere where you need to address the situations between man and woman and the roles and things and the opportunities and all those things. Every day in life we get into all those spaces where we need to face the reality on those things and face the results of certain actions that were taken because of certain things, certain divisions or allocations and all that, So with time we'll talk about the feminism thing, why I say I'm not a feminist, and
I like that topic. I like it.
Yeah, I know you like the topic.
Yeah,
And
don't worry, we'll have another guest. We'll have another guest that day. On that day, I'll bring another guest.
Yeah.
So that we can have two feminists versus two non-feminists.
I don't know if you should really count me as a feminist too, because
the ambassador is moonwalking like Michael Jackson. You're moonwalking.
Yeah,
I'm a feminist, but I don't know. I'm a very reliable feminist.
Yeah, you're moonwalking.
So for me, I feel like the reason why we should even address this topic is for the reason that a lot of times people have this notion of who a feminist is and what the whole feminist movement is about.
It's because of,
and so that and can I finish, please? Can I finish? And so it's because of this that
that's a feminist tone.
And you have a lot of, yes, like what's the issue? You have a lot of young girls who should probably be behind this movement, and young guys too, because I feel like it's a movement for human rights. So definitely I'm passionate about it and I want to get people on board, right? So I feel like a lot of people shy away from getting on board because of all these stereotypes of a feminist is like this, or a feminist you have to be like this, or this, that. So I feel we should really have like a conversation about the whole topic so that we could clarify some things and just make some things, so that if somebody wants to become a feminist, they could feel comfortable getting on board.
The reason we talk about, or the reason we have that notion of who they are, is because of the forerunners, those who are pushing the agenda ahead.
Exactly. I always say that. Exactly.
The image they give us of the title, that's just what we believe it is. But maybe that day you tell me your own version of, because every feminist has a version of why she's a feminist. Trust me, not all of them. Yeah, the blanket thing they say is equal rights and that. But every feminist have a reason why they call themselves a feminist. And for some...
and always they'll be like, what I usually tell a time, like, I like to say I'm a feminist when it's like a human right blanket thing, right?
No, yes, true.
70% of the feminists at times will start making statements that sound like it's women against men, and then start asking yourself now, like,
that is the whole,
like
that is what
the Black Lives Matter things, and then we start saying that kill all the whites. Yeah. So it kind of, they lose me there when they start saying those kind of things.
Look like, And at the end of it,
Yeah.
anybody who push that movement has a personal agenda they are trying to push using that equality movement.
Well, I don't have a personal agenda. I don't have a personal agenda.
Okay,
Actually,
we are now
there are
diving
some.
into the topic and we have 5 minutes this thing
Yeah.
will start. But
Yeah.
so
No,
if we
yeah.
are going
I
to
just
jump into
wanted to
that,
make that
can we
straight.
make that the next
Yeah.
episode?
Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we could dive into that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Definitely.
dive into that tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in as usual. We really appreciate you watching. We really appreciate you sticking with us and engaging with us. Thank you for your comments and stuff. So I think Delvi and Ambassador, you have already said your final
Yeah.
word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've already
Okay.
said our final
Okay.
goodbyes, the shares, the subscribe, and the rest. So you have to take us out.
Okay. Thank you very much, like I said, and make sure you subscribe to Molly Town and subscribe to Chakara TV. Tomorrow we already have a topic, feminism. So if you have been having things to say about this topic, I know whenever people hear this topic, it spurs a lot of reactions out of people. So if you have a lot to say about this topic, make sure you join us on Molly Town. And so you need to be subscribed in order to do that. Turn on the notification over here and over there. Share, spread the word about the Contrast podcast, and see you guys.